Hi. Okay. All right. I'm gonna wait for this all to come through because yeah, you have the audio should be working now. You should be able to hear me. I'm very sorry for that. Now, what I'm going to say, I'm going to repeat what I just said. I've been sitting here for the last 30 minutes, trying to get this working, and unfortunately, it seems that YouTube every month they change their protocol and they change their procedure for going live. And as a result, I spent 30 minutes trying to go live. I only was able to go live just a couple minutes ago, and I actually was silent for the first 5 minutes. So if you guys will indulge me, I need to take a quick break to the restroom. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I'm very sorry for me having to do this, but hey, blame YouTube. I mean, really, they have the most unintuitive interface I've ever encountered. It's shameful. If you have a question or something about Peace Island, I will be right back with you. And in fact, I'm going to hit play over here, so you hopefully will have something to look at. I will be right back, guys. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's still loading up over there. Error. Okay, yes, yeah, whatever. YouTube error. Hello, everybody. You've been here for about 6 hours now. Wolf puff. While this game is loading. Oh my goodness! It started in the middle of the Nacht. And what the heck is this? These cats are showing up in an odd place. Hmm. Interessant. We shall close that and get back to that in just one moment. Here's the thing. I'm going to expand this ugly picture of myself because, before we get into the game stuff, I wanted to talk a little bit. And I understand that most of you guys, in fact, if you guys are here, and you don't, because of the stuff that's going on in the world right now, and I just want to make sure that it's looking good on YouTube. Okay, good, good, good. And you probably don't want to hear more about the stuff that's going on, but I hope that everybody who is listening to this is staying indoors. And I mean, that's why we're throwing this tonight. I mean, I wasn't planning on going live yesterday, but um, I mean, I hope everybody is taking the current situation kind of seriously. Don't panic or anything. But I'm not an epidemiologist. I'm not a scientist of any sort. I'm just like a sandwich maker and game designer. But if there is one thing, I've had a little bit of psychological treatment in my life, and there's one thing that I want to tell you guys. But and after that, we're not going to talk about the present, craziness anymore. Um, is that really understand that we are, as human beings, are not always presently consciousness of the stresses that we are under. And because here's the thing, I've been growing up my entire life like reading a post-apocalyptic fiction and stuff like that, and I stay very informed about the news and all that. And I thought, as a result, what we're going through right now would not be as much of a burden on my head as it would be. But you know what? Here's the thing. The past month has been kind of crazy on development of this project. We've been talking to, like, I can't mention names, but I've been talking to casting agents. I mean, who knows? You might be seeing the game on or something about it on your television. Might. We've been talking to game publishers, and um, you know, I've been following this whole situation for about a month, and ever since I was down in New Jersey at the beginning of the last month, and as a result, I thought I was on top of all of this. But um, you never know what how these things may manifest. And yesterday, I mean, basically, I got up in the morning and I was ready to go to work. And I was like, oh, yes, we're going to just kick so much ass today. But as soon as I encountered the first problem, I just said, okay, screw it. The game project's dead. Everybody, you should go, you should run for shelter. And I'm going to be like Dave Chappelle and move to South Africa and convert to Islam. Or maybe Dan Harmon. Maybe we can get into Dan Harmon later. But um, the thing is the next when I woke up this morning, it was like I woke up with this horrific hangover. Like I was like, what the hell happened? The thing is, you never know how these things do build up. And the thing is without a daily inventory, it can become overwhelming. When you do a daily inventory and put it down on paper or put it down on your screen, it's just a bunch of words and it's far less frightening. But if you don't do that daily inventory, you can become overwhelmed by what's going on right now, and other stuff, and how it conflates, combines with everything that's going on right now. And let me tell you, I care about you people because you're the guys who support this game, and I just want you to not to make the same mistakes that I do, because when I do that, I just become a crazy person, and I become the worst version of myself. And like I said, I just want to just again I thought I was like stalwart. Laura and I, we went in, we stocked up on food. We made sure that we were like, I mean, we're inside people. We don't ever think, oh, being inside, that's no big thing. But let me tell you, even if you try and avoid the news, you turn on any YouTube thing, you're going to see the CDC thing, the WHO information, et cetera, and it gets inside your head. So again, take care of yourselves, not just physically, but also mentally. Okay. So now after that, I'm going to say, I'm sorry for rambling on for so long, but I wanted to make sure again that you guys are taken care of. So I'm going to take a look and see if there are any questions here. Let's see. Uh, okay, a few minutes. We'll see. Bailey said, Bailey Daniel was like, oh, I could sit around for a few minutes. Hey, we can start a campfire and be here for 2 hours. The only person who's really going to hate that is our social media manager, who's going to be just sitting there making sure I don't go crazy. Um, but I don't think I've ever really done that on live stream. Hey, there's a first time for everything. But anyway, let's go. Let's see. Everything in Maryland. Pardon me. Brain flatlining. Let me tell you, a lot of us are flatlining. I don't know about you. I mean, self quarantining ain't that much of a big thing for me. I mean, I finally have a legitimate, socially acceptable excuse for staying away from other people and staying at home and doing what I like. That part of it, again, I didn't think it would wear on me, but there are other things. We're in uncharted territory, but it's cool. It's about discovery. So let's see here. Tim Hortons, you can't stay inside. I have to use public transit, and it cleared out. Yeah, hey, before we get into the game, yeah, we could tell our stories about the plague times we're going through. I mean, I just did. I can't really deprive you guys of that, but and I realize there's like a 5 minute freaking warning, like lag here. So it's like, let's see, crazy works. Is there okay? Actually, we have a cat question. X Witches Magic X. Is there a way to submit our cats into the game, like through social media? Well, actually, I will give out again our Discord URL. And we have a place where you can share your cats and share, artwork of cats and talk about the game and all. But understand, just as Death Stranding had Norman Reedus in it, and you couldn't change how Norman Reedus looked. The cats inside of Peace Island are pretty much set. But understand that there's a cat. I guarantee you're going to have you're going to meet a cat in here, So let me give you our Discord really quick. Let's see, invite people. Let's see, add invite link so that it never expires. Never. Generate a new link. Copy. And there we go. I'll get that over in the chat. All right. Be glad you're not living du wohnst nicht in Deutschland. Um, let's see. Toilet paper is sold out to do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought you Europeans were ahead of the curve on us on the whole bidet thing. I mean that's kind of we're so finally catching up to Europe in terms of bidet here in the United States. Long overdue, might I say. But Laura and I, we again we saw this coming last week, and we stocked up. Um, I mean, the thing is Laura was telling me, can I say, back when there were only 6 cases here in the United States, my goodness, it's gonna go crazy. I was like, yeah, oh yeah, whatever, yeah, yeah, this is gonna be like Ebola, yeah, which was serious, but oh my goodness, time makes his fools of us all. So let me see. We seem to have a little bit of an issue with the build here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of this really quick. Just stop that. And you can see Aloysius Ellison over there. One of the things, what I would like to share with you guys tonight is a little bit of the new radio audio. And I think, it'll be a treasure for you guys to like go through a little bit of, stuff we got going on there. So let's see, let me minimize that, close. And yeah, there that is. I still use Gold Wave, by the way. Let me get my ugly mug down so you don't see me scratching my big head like an allergy-ridden baboon. Should I make my face small? I'm as small as a talk show host making fun of Greta Thunberg. Let's see. Okay, we got that up. Let me see if we have any questions here. Wolfbook. Here's the thing: we're dealing with a herd mentality, and I wish that Laura was a little bit more, social. She knows far more about like human psychology and social psychology than I do, and she'd be able to put it very simply for us. But let's just say, hey, we're a flawed human species. We're a flawed species, is what we is. Let me minimize all of this. So let's see. Now, I don't know whether you guys have been following how much on the Twitter, you guys, and like our other social media platforms as well. But we've been trying to share, various elements of the island's development. There are so many like stories that are going to be woven into the game. And a lot of them, one of the ways that these stories are going to be told is via WISL, which is the radio broadcast on Peace Island. And I've been sort of cagey about the guy. I was like, oh, the guy doing our DJ and all that and such. I just figured, hey, now's a good time to just share a little bit of our wins and demonstrate a little bit of what we got coming for you on the radio station for the island. And we're currently integrating that, and let's see here. I just want, before I start into this, I want to see if there are any questions or any comments. Hey, hi, Tater Salad. Long time no see. Dante, we're about to show off a little bit of your audio work here. Okay. Therese Edward. I need to emphasize this each time I go live, and that's cool. And I'm going to make my setup a little bit bigger so that you pay attention to me rather than those weird lines, off to the side. Okay. Here's the thing: when you contribute to the Peace Island Patreon for $25 a month, you can quit after the first month, and you will still gain access to the game when it's released. You will still get the postcards. You will still gain access to alphas. And I'm saying that again, not to tie this in but I really should, because understand, guys. this is as long as you've contributed $1 to this game, games development on Patreon, as long as you do not cancel your Patreon account, you can cancel your support for our game, and you will still gain access to the alphas. Same thing if you contribute $25 or the. It seems I'm getting a little bit of flicker here. I'm sorry for that. It may be this light. Let me see. Maybe if I turn that off. Yeah, that's good. I look a little bit blue, but hey, um, I look like the Obama Hope poster in a way. I have to do that. Anyway, um, let's see. The question was, going to. Oh yeah, um, I understand that in coming months, people may be losing their jobs. So if you need to reduce or your level of support to Peace Island, rest assured on Patreon that you will continue to get, all of the benefits that you have coming to you. It's been that way since the very start. I've tried to explain it again and again. I sort of set up the premium things, but understand that again. We understand that we are in an unusual situation, and we hey. If you supported this game, we still want to get the game to you, even if you've had to, lower your level of support or whatever. And so it's all cool. Um, Yep. And let me see. Uh, yeah. Sniffing at your toes. So hopefully that answers your question. What if you're 2 months? 2 months? Teresa, if you've given $25, bring it down to $1 or cancel entirely. Just don't cancel your Patreon account. And I'm using my hands and gesturing strongly. I should move back so maybe just get there. Let's see. Okay, cat licking toes. Yes, they do that. Okay, so well, anyway, you're probably wondering what this waveform is over on this. Oh no, the camera's reversed. I have to do this. Where that this side. That is the preliminary WISL radio broadcast, and we're hoping to have this as part of it. And there are two distinct places in here, two distinct broadcasts. First, you have because what WSISL is, it's a low frequency, I mean a low power station, so they only reach about 2 or 3 miles. And anybody can get on there if they have the bucks and are willing to put up their own program. So really, you have two segments. You have first the standard WISL, public radio broadcast, and on the other half, you have Free Island Republic Radio by Alexander Ellison. Now we're going to hear a little bit of both, and my goodness, look at that! I cut myself shaving. I know it's just revolting, but hey, let's see. Oh, Bailey Daniel question. I'm sorry. Before I get into that, uh, oh God, Bailey Daniel. What a question. What is the biggest? She asked. What is the biggest thing on the list of making the game? She's probably asking about my top priority, or is she talking about the hardest thing, the most difficult thing? I'm trying to understand the context. Hopefully she will answer there. Let's give her a few seconds. And by the way, that's our whiteboard. You can see the Peace Island map behind us. That's for like story meetings, so we can sketch out what happens where. Okay, yes. Are you saying yes to both? Oh, okay. Oh, goodness. She's. Well, hey, we're here for a while. We ain't got nothing else to do. I mean, especially here in Maine, it's freezing out here. Yeah. And by the way, the pulsing lights over here are just these nanoleaf light sets. It's going to be fluctuating all the time. But and the most difficult thing, can I say, is an existential thing, is understanding your own limitations, is understanding that you have to depend on other people, and at a certain time the project will grow larger than you. And you have to realize it isn't about you anymore. It's about all the people that work on it and all the expectations of all the fans. That's sort of a hard transition to go through because for 2 years, me personally, this was something that me, Laura, and our programmer Alex out in Greece worked on, and all of a sudden, I mean, I'm finding myself distanced in some ways from the project because simply it's just gotten I mean so large. Um, um, yeah, that's I'd say one of the most difficult things, and one of the most important things that we're working on right now is jeez, I want to add more gameplay elements. Here's the thing. Um, Arjuna, the guy who makes our textures, Arjuna Gonzalez, he again just took on creating our character controller straight up, from zero, and he took this absolute mess that we were handed by this freelancer in London and honed it into this wonderful steel like magnificent mechanism. But unfortunately, um, it's on hold. That was a seed from which we were going to add all of our character interactions, such as the conversation engine and being able to enter and exit buildings, etc., etc. And and that was also going to determine, how the characters moved and all. And unfortunately, right now that is all on hold because the most difficult thing is, can I just say, is straight up something I could have been warned about if I watched more GDC videos, is that the IK, the inverse kinematics, for making a cat or any quadruped move well over a terrain is one of the more difficult things that in game development, straight up. And we have a couple of people working on that right now. And once we get that settled, my goodness, that is going to be like us shedding lead weights off of our shoulders, and we're just going to be rushing forward in development. It's just that it's very difficult. It's very precise work. I don't know how much you guys. I'm going to just check if you. I'm not going to get into a conversation about inverse kinematics because we have to get over to the radio broadcast. But if you don't know inverse kinematics, it's a way of making sure that as a skeleton interacts with the environment around it, it responds dynamically. Excuse me. I think I demonstrated in previous videos. I'm sorry about this, about the belching there. I drink beverages while I talk to you guys because I start sounding like Alex Jones after about 10 minutes because my throat's so dry. I always have to do that every time. Yes, I have to imitate Alex Jones. And by the way, in this, you're going to hear that is not me. I really wanted to do the Alex Jones impersonation for this video, but we found a guy who just aced it 10 times better than me, because he's able to do those gross belches and like swallows and grunts that Alex always does. But anyway, let's see. Oh my goodness, question. Let's see. Oh, more questions. Wildcat. I would have to say the ones that are most endangered, because I really fear for the biodiversity of this planet. I'd say any African wildcat, any I mean, um, I'd say that. Unfortunately, I am not, a zoologist, and I can't bring up all the kinds to mind. But trust me, the poachers out there, I seem to recall recently, like a poacher killed just like an incredibly rare animal out in Africa, and it's just insanity. I just can't understand that. Anyway, Wolf Poof has a question. Have I ever played Dog's Life? And did I take any inspiration from it? No, I did not play Dog's Life. Um, I've heard of it many, many times, and I really, really want to play it one day. But Unfortunately, these days I don't have much time to play video games. Um, one of these days, I hope to. I don't know whether it ever came out for a PC. Did it? Because I'm a PC gamer. I'm not a platform gamer. I never got those weird things because I'm old. Anyway, let's see. Okay, we have the last question. Oh no, okay. Actually, witches. I'm gonna have to go back. If you don't donate, can you still play the alpha beta? No. Um, well, beta. Yes, eventually you will be able to play the beta. But if you contribute, like I said, $1 to our Patreon, you'll get access to the alphas, and you'll get early access to the beta. So, I mean, hey, you could do worse with $1 in these days. So let's go. We have to go with question. Gotta keep the quick, because. Oh, Bailey, of course. A game based on mystery solving, an open world game based on story and mystery solving is going to have tons of areas. I mean, we hope to have. I mean, we're working on stories and such. We really want it so that there are going to be structures like houses that you walk in at like the first 5 minutes of the game, and you won't gain access to the keys that get you into a closet in there until like the last 5 minutes, like the last 10% of the game. We want as much of that sort of like sense of discovery and like searching as possible, because that's what cats do. They love the discovery and they love the searching. So, okay. Now, oh, say bone broth. Somebody asked me to say, get my bone broth. Get my bone broth. You get the Super Vitality Blueberry formula and the bone broth, and the Super Vitality Blueberry broth. You see, I can get a little bit of that growly thing, but I don't have that just the force of his layers of like heavy fat and failure that compress his esophagus and just make it sound like a continuous fart. But let me see. Okay, no more questions. You know what? Before we get into this, if you don't mind, I'm going to have another quick bio break. We're only a half hour into our broadcast. By the way, I don't know how many are here. Does it tell me? It doesn't. And quite frankly, it really doesn't matter. If there's, as long as there's like one person here, I'm going to chat with you. But please do give me just a moment to take care of that. Actually, I don't think soda is going to get me through this evening. I need to get some water, so I'll be right back. Hmm. Oh yeah, that bone broth. I remember that. Okay. Yeah, John. No, there was a guy on Vice. I mean, I'm not. A guy on Vice News who lived on the Alex Jones diet for like a month, and it actually made him paranoid. And um, and it sort of explains things. But hey, here's the thing about. No, let's not get into Alex. He deserves everything that's coming to him. Bless him. He put himself out there, and hey, that's what you get, Al. Let's see. Oh, I left my beverage. I'll be right back. Sorry. 10 seconds, guys. All right. And I have a feeling other questions came in. I'll probably be. Let's see. 18 are here. Oh, yes. Play us a song. Okay. Hey, hello to all 18 of you. And by the way, thank you for staying indoors tonight. I'm pretty sure. Here's the thing. I know we're dealing with intelligent people here, so you know the importance of staying in. I don't need to again repeat what you've been hearing ad infinitum, but thank you. I'm just saying thank you for the human race as a whole. because we need to, those of us who are self-isolating need to give ourselves just a little bit of a good thinking. So anyway, because I don't know if you've seen those pictures out of like South Florida, those kids on their spring breaks. I know I shouldn't laugh, but oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Let's see. On 8 gigs. Well, Sue, it's going to get better. And in the coming one, I have 8 gigs as our memory, you know, target. But let me see if I can bring this up here really quick. And actually, before I bring that up, I just want to be able to play something in content. So just bear with me. I want to bring up YouTube Studio. All these things. Oh, I see this. There we go. Let's see. Just give me a moment. I'm just getting it up. Oh, my, no, it's not there. I guess I'm going to have to go to the motherload of video to find this. Okay. What, did they scrub it from the internet? Oh, there it is. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Let me just bring up the proper audio again. Oh, what is this? Oh, it looks. Oh, am I lagging, guys? It shows me as loading. I don't know. Lagging. Okay. Let's see. Shit. It's on this side. I'm very sorry, guys. Just give me a moment because I just see this sort of like circle here. So I'm just trying to set the stream to like a low latency. Huh. I mean, I don't see myself moving. All right, I guess it's just buffered here. All right, guys. What I'm gonna do is figure. I'm just gonna see here. Oh yeah. I am still going. Okay, weird. I guess it's just something inside of the studio. I'm gonna switch over to this one. So anyway, what I want to do here is bring up the internal audio settings. Let me just see. There we go. I want to bring it up so you can read. So let's see. Just give me a moment and see if this is coming through. I'm just going to play a little bit of music here. Just want to check the levels. Turn up my speakers. Yep. That's the proper volume. So, all right, now I'm just gonna switch over and see if there's anything in the chat. And I'm gonna shrink myself down because really I am just disgusting. I am like this blue greasy monster. So all right. Cool. Now this is part of the radio broadcast. Now, one of the things I wanted to show you guys tonight was the guy that we hired for the voice of the DJ for the regular like public radio segments is a voice that I guarantee. Well, I know you will all have heard. If you watch television today, you heard his voice. It's that simple. But the thing is because of the nature of many of his jobs, he can't speak about the stuff that he does because, well, I won't go into it. But first off, you will not recognize his voice, but in a moment you will. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just play like a beginning here and let you listen to just a minute of it. And I'm going to make sure.
Absolutely overrun with saffron toting coralists looking for tapas. That's all I'm saying, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, XJ
No,
is...
I'm very sorry, guys. It is still playing the Alex Jones. What is up with this? At least you heard the Alex Jones impersonator. Hold on. There is just something weird going on. Give me a sec. At least you got to hear us a preview of that. And you got to see, he is better than me. Is he not? He's much better. So I just want to run this.
The WISS
Yeah.
studio here in downtown Peace Island. Thanks for listening in today.
Okay. Let's see if we can. I'm just going to zoom in and make sure. There we go.
Thanks for
okay. So now I'm going to turn my volume off there. Thank you for putting up with us, by the way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play about like, about 10 seconds. You just skip ahead for a little bit. So, no, it's doing it again. There we go. It should be doing it. No, it's not. What is wrong with this? Give me a moment, guys. There we go.
Today, but please don't try calling in. As we all know, the final 5 p.m. ferry whistle echoed above the pines of our fair island yesterday, reminding us all we have just a few weeks of brilliant leaves and calm waters before that long, slow slide into winter begins. Now,
Okay, now, I'm just going to bring that down. Now, you may be saying to yourself, I don't know who the hell that is. Okay, now, oh yeah, well, I am disgusting, Wolf Puff. Kudos. If I could like send you a buck if I could like give you a free alpha, I'd totally do that. But anyway, you may say I don't know that voice, but aside from the commercials that this individual has done, let me just bring this up because if you've seen any movie, this movie is so iconic. It would be shocking to me if you hadn't heard it. This movie is so iconic. Shit. It's giving you echo, right? I hope not. Anyway. It's giving you echo, right? It apparently isn't. I'm confused how this works, man. So anyway, here's the guy. I guarantee you've heard this one, though. It apparently isn't. I'm confused how this works. Then put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain we can't climb. Hey, I got you, babe. I got you, babe.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties, 'cause it's cold out there today.
It's cold out there every day. What is this, Miami Beach? I don't
Not
think so.
hardly. And, you can expect hazardous travel later today with that, that blizzard thing.
Oh, that blizzard thing. That blizzard thing. Oh, well, here's the report. The National Weather Service is calling for a big blizzard thing.
Yes, they are. But, there's another reason why today is especially exciting.
Especially cold.
Especially cold, okay. But the big question on everybody's lips.
Yeah, their chap lips.
On their chap lips.
Oh, no, somebody heard it. Here's the thing. I pause that, and I'm going to move the system audio down so we don't hear the audio. Okay. The guy who's doing the radio broadcast there for Peace Island is the exact same guy who did the voices for the radio broadcast in Groundhog Day. That's kind of cool, I think. Because, not to give away a lot of stuff, the game does deal with cosmic things such as time loops, etc., etc. But finding that guy, I worked with a guy about like 15 years ago on political stuff, but we won't go into that. But it was really cool being able to get that guy. And I'll bring up the audio so you can listen to him a little bit more. In fact, let me see if I can find him like interviewing somebody.
believe it or not.
Yeah, there we go. Nice. Turn down my speakers. Just let this guy talk for a moment.
The other week with this track that he had just recorded with one of our island locals. He said he was heading back to the mainland soon. Now, his music may be a smidge tough on the ears for some people, but to me, it ain't really that bad.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Got a little bit of music there, but anyway. Let me just get everything squared away. And we have to zoom out here because that's only one small part. I mean, eventually, understand what you're seeing here is only going to be one half of the radio broadcast in the game. This is only what we are putting together and hopefully putting into the next alpha and perhaps the beta. But he's his name is Richard Hensel, by the way. Because what gets me about that, by the way, his name is Richard Hensel, by the way. He did that read in 20 minutes, and he never got paid for it again. But it remains like one of his most well-known public works, shall we say. I just want to turn that so we don't have the echo. Sorry about that. Sorry about the echo. But it's crazy. I mean, that the guy had like a 20-minute read back in the 80s, early 90s. I forget exactly when the movie came out. And it's still even though all of everything else that he does, you just play that one little read that he did and everybody knows him, but trust me, here's the thing. Again, Richard does voices on commercials and in media that you heard today. I guarantee you. It's just that, unfortunately, if I said, oh, if it's this guy, you hear all the time on the commercials, you wouldn't have really gotten, why we wanted this guy. But having him as presenting him to you as the guy from Groundhog Day, oh my goodness, we couldn't have asked for a better guy. I'm so just happy we got him, and we're hoping on having him doing some more recordings. So let's see. Let's see. Go up here. Scott Cawthon. Don't know what the hell that is. Cheese is delicious. Wolf Puff. I mean, I got some of that Jarlberg. It's like this really good cheap Swiss. Really, a couple of bricks of that get me through a month. Find the patron. Yeah. He plans on any kind of sniffing mechanics. Perhaps. I'm going to put up something better on the screen. We haven't even shown off the game, but we haven't even gotten to the Alex Jones section here yet, really. I need to put on my headphones, perhaps, so that we have less... I can hear what you're going through. Actually, no, I do not have a cord for my headphones. Dang it. We're going to get this settled. Let me see if there are any other comments. Eric the God. Is there a link to the Patreon? Let's see, hold on. It's very simple. And I am nicht ein Gottes. About as easy you can imagine. Patreon.com, Peace Island. Now, a couple of pieces of music. I'm not comfortable in showing off the music right now because really my major disappointment was that the playlist right now only has 2 bands that are male-led. I wanted a track by a female artist, but it was kind of difficult. I will be looking more in the future for that. In fact, I am going to be commissioning a woman to be doing a violin Celtic version of the Peace Island anthem, but if you haven't heard that yet. Let's see. So really, we want to go beyond that. You know, if I could find my Sony headphones, those things are pieces of crap. No, Sony, you make great. I remember now, Sony, you have a gaming publishing wing. You make great products. No, I won't bring them out right now because I don't want to damage their awesomeness. So, let's see. I'm gonna have to turn up. We're gonna have to deal with a little bit of audio. Let's see. Just making sure they got. Nope. Come on.
Angle.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
Angle. He retained a specimen, and they tell me that the initial tests show it to be a fungus.
Yeah. Let's see.
If you're like me,
Oh yeah. Let's see. Oh, I need to turn down my. I wish I had my headphones. Oh, this. Let's see here. Let's see. Dang, there's no way. I'm just gonna have to just share it with you and just share it. Oh no, I don't have the desktop audio going. Hold on.
Give them a home. We'll
There
give
we
them
go.
a call.
Sorry about that.
Visit freeislandrepublic.org
Let's go back to this here.
for details.
And, hold on. Oh no, I don't have the
Your
start
left. Now, look to your right. Do you see any toilets? If so, haul them to the eastern borders of the Republic, and we'll not only give them a home, we'll give them a cause. Visit freeislandrepublic.org for details. Now, folks, if you're like me, if I'm in, a foreign territory.
All right, now you can see. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now, okay. I've got a heck of a lot of their audio on there, but really, I just wanted to share that with you guys. This guy. Again, I don't think I would have been able to top his Alex Jones impersonation. My goodness, I think I'm going to be enlisting a lot more of his talents in coming days. Yeah. Hey. Got a lot more in there, but yeah, the feral toilet. Let me see. We can go on to other stuff. Let me just see here. I won't leave you with just feral toilets. That is unfair. Hold on. The only thing is I do not know exactly how this plays out, so I have to just.
No words necessary. You don't even have to think. Go do stuff, you.
Yeah.
There. Don't pretend to be a free man.
There we are. Just turn that down. I mean, really. Can I say the neatest thing about this is that I used a neural network to create I'd say about a third of the Alexander Ellison Free Island Republic broadcast. It's amazing how well those things can emulate Alex Jones, which makes me think, maybe Alex Jones is indeed he himself is an artificial intelligence, a very bad one. Anyway, let's see. Toilets. Oh yeah. Here we go. I was gonna go beyond feral toilets. Yeah. And bring up the audio on that. Having to do this across a whole bunch of things is just difficult. There we go. Yeah.
No, I need all my
Let's
listeners
see.
to hear.
No, I think that's more for feral toilets. Let's see. I'm pretty sure wherever you're gonna go, you're gonna find something crazy.
To listen good. This is a raw product that uses our best processes to leave no trace behind. This product contains only the good stuff, raw, organic, natural ingredients. I guess the human mind is still not quite ready to accept that most of the world isn't buying what they're selling. Just like you don't understand why we aren't buying what you're selling. Well, you will soon be able to understand when you take a look at this fine product. You will understand it.
Yeah, like I said, this guy, he can just go and go and go. Well, you couldn't ask for a better guide. Do some crazy conspiratorial stuff. You probably got echoes all the way through that. I do not know how this runs. What? Alright, it seems that while this was going on and all the echoiness, I hope some of that came across so that you can appreciate his genius. Let me see. In fact, I'm sniffing a lot right now. Digging mechanic? Maybe. Maybe. Let's see. Let me go over to OBS and just open this up. I should open up the Unity project and see if we can get it running. Oh, no, that's OBS, sorry. Oh, ninjas. Ninjas are just, that makes me remind. I mean, I think ninjas are the reason that, the Preacher TV show failed. That could have been a great miniseries, but I could just imagine sorry. Eggs and peanuts there. Oh, no, peanuts. Yeah, there we go. We seem to have a little bit of a... Let me see if I could tab. Let's see. We seem to have a mobility issue here. This was the most recent build. I apologize for this. Seems there's a little bit of an issue, but we could show you something out of the game before this is all over tonight. I'm just reading through all these messages you can see other than my ear. I'm just seeing. Let's see. Well, it seems. Let me just confer with somebody really quick, and find out why we're having an issue here. Just kidding. All right. Sorry about the sniffing, guys. I've been warned about that apparently many times. No sniffing. No sniffing. I understand my sinuses are clear as a autumn day. So. Oh, Wolfpoof is asking if I've already decided a place to put my face in the game. Here's the thing. I am not concerned about putting my face in the game as I am finding a place for everybody who's contributed to the game. Finding a place for them to be prominent. Because at a certain level of contribution, patrons, they get included in the game. And I want to make sure that everybody feels that they have a prominent enough place. I mean, I don't feel that I need to insert myself into the game because, heck, I worked on this thing for 2 years by myself. I made the game. Well, with Laura and Alex's help out in Greece, but every day I do a piece of artwork. I mean, just about every day. Pardon me. Last handful of peanuts. I don't know why that happens. You can see the food falling out of my mouth. I'm just, a god. Every day I put my own work into this project in a dozen different ways. I don't need to put my face into the game. I think that pretty much solves that question. So, I like to think that probably in Scientology. By the way, Sue Schloch. I'm trying to pronounce that. Susan Schloch. Said Eric looks like he should be in a poster in a wanted office. A wanted poster in a post office. I'd like to think that there's a picture of me somewhere in like the archives of Scientology, marking me as like a SP. But because I am a suppressive person. No offense to you Scientologists out there, all you millions of Scientologists. Because I know you like video gaming, you Scientologists. Okay. Let's see. Dolly Boppers. Good question. I answer that question a lot. But it's kind of cool. You see, I moved here from to Maine from New Jersey, and maybe I shouldn't sell like Maine up too much. But one of the coolest things that living here in Portland, Maine, is that you can catch a ferry out to like islands. There are about 6 islands out in Casco Bay that you can catch a ferry to, and these islands, even though they're very close to the largest city in Portland, are their own distinct communities, and there's crazy stuff on every one of these islands. You just need to know where to look for it. And Laura and I, the idea for the game started with when Laura and I were playing, I'd have to say, an iPad game called Monument Valley, and another iPad game, it's also, for Android and such, called The Room. And we wondered why, why there weren't more single-player, open-world, games that were focused on exploration rather than violence and learning, and just making the world a place that you want to be in. Because Laura and I went out to the islands so many times. It's like our favorite place to go out in the summer, and our favorite island to go to was an island here called Peaks Island. In fact, let me bring it up because we seem to have an issue here. I'm hoping that Google is not going to block. Sometimes it blocks your browser. If you bring it up or you go to Maps, I'm just going to Peaks. Oh, no. Ha. Meta. Okay, it looks like it's showing the internet here. So let me see. Now, let's see if it shows the map before I could go onto the stream. Yeah, okay. Now, all of you who have been following this game from the very beginning will probably notice similarities between, the island that Peaks Island here and Peace Island, because that is the island that me and Laura went to the most. And we go out there so often during the summer because it's got really great views at night. If you're willing to walk out to, like, let me just see, a place, that's where Whaleback is, like, say, yeah, right about here. You're protected from the light pollution from Portland by the highlands of Peaks here. And you could see the entire galaxy spread across the sky. And we would go out there many, many nights just to see that. Because, honest to goodness, if you haven't watched the sunset or seen the galaxy stretch across the sky, I mean, really, please, please do that. It's a wonderful thing. Um, and here's the thing: you land on Peaks Island via the ferry terminal here, and to get to our spot really is about, about oh goodness, at this point, I think it's about a 40-minute walk. Yeah, about a 40-minute walk, unless you're really willing to go crazy on this. But this is just like no street lights. I mean, you get lost there in the middle of the night. It can be crazy if you're all alone. But anyway, well, those evenings that we went out to Peaks Island to, watch, just enjoy being outside of the city, enjoy the atmosphere, and see the night sky, you would have to walk from, of course, again down here to up here. Now, along the way, you would meet about a dozen cats, because Peaks Island has a island-wide speed limit of 20 miles an hour. Most people get around on golf carts. And in the evening, after, on a nice summer evening, after the sun is set, the cats would come out and would literally just either sit on the road itself or the side of the road. Because the speed limit, they'd be able to hear people coming, and they'd just be living the life of Riley. Because they're soaking up the heat from the pavement, and they're just sitting there. And a lot of people just walk around the island. They just sit there and they absorb attention from everybody who just happens to walk by. And occasionally they'll hear a bug, and they'll go off hunting. There are a few small, like frogs, out there that cats and other predators have not driven to extinction. Sorry about that peanut bit there. And one day, I think when we were like walking this one path, it's very strange because there really isn't a path. Anyway, we were just talking about, we should make a game based on someone visiting this island. And, all the humans are gone. And I said, hey, that's a great idea because we won't have to, do the AI for the humans. That'll be very easy. And what the first game was the first iteration of the idea was you were supposed to be playing a young veterinarian that had arrived on the island for the first time, and you're taking over for the old retiring veterinarian on the island. And the conceit of the game was that because you were a veterinarian, you could communicate with the cats, and they would help you communicate with the other animals on the island, And eventually we decided, I forget exactly when it was, but we said, why don't we just get rid of the middleman and have the game take place not from the perspective of the human, but from the perspective of the cats on the island. And again, that just struck me as such, wow, that would make such a more entertaining game than walking around as a human. So I don't know, that was how it started. And we went, I think it was a year of us going out to the island and just walking around. And just, every night we'd just be, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have this in the game? Oh, look at that house. Wouldn't that be nice to have in the game? And, if we make the game. And one day I just said, heck, why don't I make this game? And, goodness, that began the journey of a million steps there, it seems. So, I'm going to have to ask for another bio break before I read any other questions. I'm very sorry. Can I just say something? Those of you who are wondering about the bio breaks, trust me, the male half of the audience here, trust me, when you're over 45, you'll understand a hell of a lot more. And bless the rest of you. See you in about 2 minutes. Yes, I should. Hi, Laura's offering me ice cream. All right. I'm dying. I have the plague. No. Had a little bit of moisture go down the wrong side. We were very concerned for about a week there that, I mean, not to go back to the plague stuff that we're all trying to forget. I'm sorry, the COVID. We can't call it the plague because, well, but seriously, we were sort of afraid about a week ago that we had it. But the thing is that it also happens to be like flu season up here in the northeastern United States. So, anyway, it's crazy how things like this go. So, any questions? All right. Woof poof. You know, jeez. Oh, goodness. You know, Wolf Poof, here's the thing. That's a conversation for us. He asks, why just 2,500 subs for for this channel? And number one, it is only my channel. We actually have a YouTube channel dedicated to the Peace Island game, but, you know, it has fewer. I would say take that up with our social media manager, and you know I am more concerned. Can I say? One moment, sorry. It seems I left my cup. I'll be right back. Sorry. There it is. Mug. From the very beginning of these games development, I did not promote it heavily. Because I was more interested in making the game. I realized that we could push this game more. We probably could, like, again, here's the thing. I should shut up. Because I'm not a social media expert. That's the end of that. I would say get in touch with our social media person. So anyway, let's see. Corona Diada. Let's see. Supporting the game at the moment. Allowed to. Instant access. X Witches asked if he gives you instant access. If you contribute $1, I mean, as far as instant access, yes, you will gain access to previous, posts. And I think one of the most recent posts I did was one about premiums and a link to the most recent alpha. So hey, you will not gain instant access to the full game because, of course, that's still under development. And by the way, let me just go over here really quick and show you here. Oh, shut up! Stop showing everybody where my house is. Jeez, look at that server. Anyway, like I said, here in Portland, Maine, right there. You can travel to any one of these islands. In fact, you see these islands here are considered, the ones outlined in red, are considered part of Portland, Maine. And right here, there's, just as you can see the dotted lines, you can catch a ferry out to any one of these. And I actually have never been to this part. I didn't know that was Jewel Island as part of Portland. That'd be interesting. I pride myself on being onto all the islands out there. I don't think I'd be able to go to. Anyway, let's see. Just want to see if there are any questions because you don't want to kind of hear about geography. Let me just see if I got a feedback from our guys here because of the build issues. Just one moment. Sorry. Oh, there we go. One moment. Okay. Well, no answer. So hey, it is what it is. Just want to make sure. All right. let's see. So where was I? I was just discussing and trying to bring this up. And I also want to bring my window up so I can at least see myself and see how many people are still. Oh my goodness, we still have 19 people. Sláinte, everybody. But let me see. The thing about peaks, though, is Peaks is the most addressable island. If you're ever here in Portland, I mean, that's where most tourists go. And they've been going there for hundreds of years. Peaks Island actually used to be called the Coney Island of Maine. Let me see if I can bring it up. Greenwood Garden. No, different. Let's see, meta. There we go. Images. There we go. You see? Let me see if I can bring that up full screen. Yeah, you see here. Oh, damn it. Nope. Open image and new tab. There we go. You see, this is a sort of an inspiration for a part of the game itself. This is an amusement park that was opened, as you can see, in 1909. And let me just go over to the Google Maps, and I'd like to show you a circle. That is literally, it was just essentially, this part of the island, almost. Right there, yes. The center of the screen was this whole amusement park. But you can see, look at that. They had their own little row of shops over here on the right side, and they had all this. And when you go there today, there is not a hint of this. Not a hint. In fact, in the 112 to 11 years since this was made, where the tent, in the middle ground here was eventually made into a park that is now itself being slowly eroded away into the ocean. The islands out there have just this amazing history. If you know what to look for, you can actually see like the little iron poles from the fence on the edge of the cliff here. Just that kept people from going over. And this was during the age of Prohibition. What I really like about this island, it won't let me zoom in really quickly, but if you look at the very top here, to the right of the D here, you'll see their main ride attraction there. That is, let me just get a beverage here. That is essentially a tower that took them up to about the height of a 10-story building. And we think that right now, oh my goodness, what rubes, but you must understand, in 1909, most human beings had never been up that high. That was, they were seeing a first, unless you lived in like Chicago or New York City at that point. This was just an amazing sight, and I find that to be just so charming that that was like the main thing that people went there to see. We look over to the right of it, you see like maybe a petting zoo. That's what it looks like. So the kids don't have to, if they're frightened by going all the way up there, they can sit and just like play with little animals while the adults go up, And probably, I'd like to think they took like a little nip, because this was during the age of Prohibition. Like, oh, no one is up here looking at me. Like back in the, like stoners back in the 90s with their marijuana. But hey, we won't get into that. Alrighty. Let's see. Alright, more or less history stuff. More people are asking. Okay, Wolf Poof, we are not dealing with Epic. We are not. And here's the thing, I don't mind pissing off Epic. Gamers and the gaming public at large, and quite frankly, game developers are worse off when some company is somehow able to acquire through fair means or foul more money than God and start offering crazy exclusive deals that shut off the majority of the gaming public. That is capitalism at its worst. Capitalism and free markets are supposed to be about the availability and spreading of product and ideas. Epic works opposite to that. That is bad. It's bad for gamers. It's bad for game developers. We won't deal with Epic. I just want to make that clear because more and more people are asking about that. And I just want to make that clear. We're on your side. We don't like Epic. Patrick, he asks if you can put your own skins on a cat in the game. Unfortunately not. In this game, you will have as much control over the look of the characters as you did in Death Stranding over how Norman Reedus looked. But please, understand that there are 9 cats in this game, and number 1, you will meet a cat in the course of playing this game that you will identify with, that you have known. And and number 2, this is rather verbose, and this I've had my words edited many times when I say this, but it can't be edited in my opinion. Let me bring up another picture. No, let's just leave it on that. Would Harry Potter have been the same story to you if on the first page of the book, before you ever read about anything about Harry, the author had given you the ability to change Harry Potter's appearance? You would have been able to go, no, I don't like this short, skinny kid with like the bowl haircut and the big glasses. I want to make him blonde, and muscular and blah, blah, blah. Would that story have been the same? I don't think it would have. And I'm going to choose another example because, that's the way I roll. Imagine, everybody here except for the people in China, well, no, they do know, about Winnie the Pooh. Imagine if A.A. Milne, before you ever open up your first page of Pooh, page of Pooh, page of Winnie the Pooh, had given you the option to select what kind of bear Winnie the Pooh was, what color his eyes were, how long his teeth were, how, what his fur looked like. Would that have been the same experience for you? I don't think it would have. Trust me, if I had the ability to do this game over again, I think we would have been able to find a way for you to insert your cat into the game. But please understand, we chose all of the cats in this game with a heck of a lot of deliberation and care through the writing process. We just think that, at this stage it's not practical. And we understand why you would like it. But, if we're so fortunate enough as to create this game, trust me, we already have a sequel worked out, and the first thing you'll be able to do in that game is to be able to customize your cat. It's just that in this game, again, would you ask, there I go with the sniffing, would you go up to the guys who did Death Stranding and go, hey, I don't like the way that Norman Reedus looks. Hey, I want him to look crazy with purple hair and, great pecs and a Spice Girls t-shirt. In a way, it would have been a better game. Let's be straight up. But, it would have betrayed the creator's intention. So, let's see. Let me bring it. Let's see. I went on long enough that I think there's other questions here. You know, our social media manager is going insane because she's having to sit through this and make sure that I don't like just go like David Duke forever. Oh my goodness, no, no, trust me. Fuck David Duke. Seriously, I can't believe he's back in the popular discourse. See what a pile of serpents I opened there. Let's go back to the questions. Alrighty. Wolf Puff, that's what I hear. Oh, yeah, we're just a platform. We're just a way to distribute this stuff to the customers. That's the way they always present themselves. Again, I can't get too much into politics, but dude, Wolf Puff, I'm going to put up a YouTube channel. If you do not watch Jim Sterling, if you've never heard of Jim Sterling, I'm about to just unload the truth on you, because let me get this here. I need to share this because really, Jim Sterling, can I say, is the best game critic, best game, actually, wider culture critic. One of the best on YouTube today. And if you're a gamer and you're not listening to him, you need to listen to Jim Sterling. I listen to everything that he does. And the thing is, I know he can never return the love because he's a game reviewer. So anyway, let me get you that link. One moment. Subscribe to him and like his videos. No. My goodness, I get all meta again. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Jim Sterling YouTube. Give it to us, Google. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Just make sure this goes in the chat. These windows are all screwy. All right. There we go. Yeah. All right. Yeah, there I gave you the Jim Sterling. Please watch him and understand. Here's the thing, dude. Oh goodness, when you talk about Epic, and when you talk about exclusive like agreements, and oh my goodness, it's only this. It's only a step toward one step forward when, like, game companies say, "Oh, loot boxes are only this," and understand. Well, no, I'm not going to get off on a rant. I mean well, no, I will say this: it pisses me off. Loot boxes and further like game companies when they put that into the game, it pisses me off personally, because here's the thing: I've known people who are addicted to gambling, people who are compulsive gamblers, and the game companies know they are preying on people like that and creating these loot boxes, these little things. Oh, only $1, and they have these psychological ways of getting you in and spending more money. Oh my God, it is again. We're in a world where capitalism, unfortunately, is a political word, and it is. It is the worst that capitalism, that sort of stuff is the worst that capitalism has to serve up, in my honest opinion. And really, I need to open up an earlier version of this game, so perhaps we can get something better in the background rather than me in a corner. Anyway. Oh, yeah. So, what we're going to do here. Actually, you know what I'd like to do? Maybe we can open up the previous version of Peace Island and see if they still fly. That'll be kind of fun. Oh, I got a question from Bolly Doppers. Dolly Boppers. Bolly Doppers. Did you guys program the in-game cat movements by studying actual cats? Our current animator, yes, indeed, she did. Our new animator, Kayla, she is a first-time game developer animator. Well, no, she's done stuff for like independent, student projects and like her friends' projects, but this is the first one that she's into, and the first like larger game project that she's been involved in. And I mean, first off, I would say that it's a better question for her, but the reason that we went with her rather than our previous animator, who had worked on a certain game that had grand and theft and cars in the name, his animations were rather, well, off in a way, different. You understand, he lived in Mumbai, India. Excuse me. And he, when I asked for an animation of the cat scratching, and any cat owner will tell you a cat, uses its hind legs. He sent me these animations of the cat standing up on its hind legs like a monkey and going like this. And now, apparently, pet cats are not as common over there in India as they are here. And trust me, he did a lot of really great work for us. Really sterling work, but he required a heck of a lot of I had to send him Edward Muybridge, sequences of cats running for him to truly get it. Kayla, on the other hand, she gets it right out of the, she is a animal lover extraordinaire. She has rats, she has cats. She's really really on top of that. Her animations. The reason that we brought her on board rather than keeping our previous animations is because of her ability to capture like true, cat animations. But that's another thing that needs to be worked out as far as inverse kinematics. You see, I prefer the cat tail motion to be dictated by, the direction of the cat's motion, whereas she had done, complete anime. We are still working on it, but Kayla, she is our champion. Yeah. Okay, no one said anything, so my big rant about Epic and capitalism. Anyway, let's see. Batty Cats can appreciate Jim. Death Stranding. Hey, can I also say, I agree with you, Batty Cats. I don't agree with his opinion of Death Stranding either. The thing is unfortunately, can I just say, and maybe this is me lecturing to you, I don't mean to, but understand the effect that social media platforms have had on us as human beings. In a endless marketplace of ideas, we've gotten it into our heads that if a particular commentator says something that we do not like, then they're wrong about everything. We need to just disengage from that. That's closing your mind off. I'm a big fan of a guy who used to do China podcasts called Serpent ZA. And he says a lot of stuff that I disagree with. But the thing is he's right on about 90% of what he says. Just because somebody says something that you might disagree with does not make them 100% wrong. And the thing is again, and this is what social media has made us into, that we exclude people. And I'm hoping maybe this whole thing with the COVID will heal us a little bit of that maybe we will learn to trust each other a little bit more. Jim Sterling has said things that I completely disagree with. But you know what? He's still very smart. He's on target 90% of the time. I have not seen another game critic who does it like Jim Sterling and does it as well as he does. In fact, I mean, he's educated me so much about the gaming industry. I was sort of like Rip Van Winkle when we were developing Peace Island, because prior to that, I had taken sort of like a sabbatical from gaming because I was too busy working at my 11 hours a day at my line cook job to even play a game. And when I came home from the line cook job, I started working on the game. And while I'm talking to you, I'm just going to float around here, by the way. It seems that the complete terrain shader is screwed up. Notice how the middle of the road there is all green. But when I came back, understand the last time I had been a big gamer was prior to the mobile revolution. That it was prior to the time that most games are sold on mobile, as opposed to just bigger platforms such as the PlayStation and PC and Mac. No, Mac is a legitimate game platform. And when I came back into it, realizing, I mean, I got into them just as about the same time that Peace Island started to like sort of take off on social media. And it's a good thing because he educated me so much about how toxic the industry is. And again, don't discount people just because you have to disagree on one or two things. Because let's just say a certain statesman recently told his people that his followers that this certain thing that's now keeping us all indoors was a hoax. I don't know. I lost my train of thought there, but oh yes, the hoax. Here's the thing: is I'm pretty sure a heck of a lot of that politician's supporters, who I know are very good people and care for their pets and neighbors and themselves as well as I and Laura do, might have heard something different from one of their friends about how this is not a hoax. And because that 1% of difference prevented them from listening to their neighbor or their friend, that's gonna hurt us going on. We need to get over our high horses and realize that we may not have all the answers, and we may be wrong sometimes, and allow ourselves the right to be wrong. We need to, jeez. Again, when that certain politician was telling people that, well, we saw it was coming, and here we are. And so anyway, I'm sorry I got off on a tangent there on Jim Sterling, because I love Jim Sterling. I love him to bits. He's unashamedly obese, a wrestler. And he gets to do what he wants to do. He just pisses on people who do bad jobs. And so anyway, and yes, here's the thing: you could say, "Oh my goodness, Jim Sterling got it so wrong on Death Stranding." He gave it a 7 out of 10. Come on, are you saying that's bad? A 7 out of 10? Anyway. Okay. Said I appreciate someone else's knowledge. Betica says, I can appreciate and accept someone else's knowledge even if I don't necessarily agree with every opinion they have. It's a shame not more people are able to do that. Yeah, well, the thing is I think, Gore Vidal had a great quote. He's like, you don't know how many problems in the world could be solved if they just freaking listen to me. But Gore Vidal also defended Roman Polanski, and a few other people who I really don't like. But you know, still, I like the guy. Let's see. Thank you, Wolf Puff. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, the thing is again, we have this crazy. That's another thing the internet did with us. It's a rating system. We have yet to get out a true good rating system for things because, I mean, Metacritic tries with having like the critic amalgam and then they have the user amalgam. And, but still, that's so at odds sometimes. And some fans of games intentionally go on there and screw it up. It's really hard to do that. But anyway, I said I was going to sort. It seems that all the roads of this game here were lost. Oh, look at this! The oceans are gone, and it looks like somebody nuked the exterior from orbit. Oh my! Woof! There we are. So I'm just checking questions. Okay, now I'm going to go back to Woof Woof. Peace Island Mobile. I think that is a possibility by the time we release, because if you are not aware, the new Oculus system runs off of a cell phone. It literally does. And the new iPad Pros, I mean, I had an iPad 2, and it was able to run Grand Theft Auto 5. No, Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I mean, the capabilities of processors right now are quite amazing, and I could imagine it being mobile. We do have mobile versions of most of our models and most of our trees and fauna and such, but the thing is I could not answer that definitively. I would like to, and I think it is possible. So, oh, and by the way, we're coming up on 2 hours, and on behalf of my vocal cords and our social media manager, who is either like left and or I really should call it quits at 2 because I got other stuff to do. The game development continues, but I want to answer your question, so hold on. Wolf Puff, here's the thing. You're getting to an epistemological argument with me. I want to avoid that. Please understand that we're in a situation where I do not want to engage with anybody on a detailed level on something that is off topic. Again, I think I have said here's the thing. We're getting off on a tangent. I'm just going to leave that alone. Because we agree more than we disagree with Puff. Take that as a lesson. Dolly Boppers asks a very good question. How many game developer teams have I been a member of? I worked on a number of games. I will bring them up here in our cavalcade of internets here, just so you can see. I will bring my window over. I will tell you, I worked on Inherit the Earth game. And as you can see, the furries have really bumped this Inherit the Earth up to that high level. I was an animator and character designer and conceptual artist on this game. Let me see. I'm just going to see. Inherit. See if I can. Oh, yes, here we go. Images. Let's see. Does that have any of mine? Oh yeah, here we go. You see, they I did a heck of a lot of animation and characters for that game back when I was living in Seattle, but it doesn't look like I see much more. Let me see. Go to that website and see if it promo art, cover art. Is that the only promo art they have? Oh no, look here. See, I'm taking you through a tour of Eric's Dark Dungeon game development. Oh yeah, I see so much here. I did these sketches back when I was like living in a basement in Seattle. Oh. I did not do this. Terry Smith. Oh, screw you, Terry Smith. Screw you with big balls on. Sorry, guys. I don't like that woman, but anyway. Yeah. This was, concept art I did for Inherit the Earth. If you've not played it, is based in a world in which humans have, evacuated and created genetically, furry, geez, what am I going to say? Intelligent animals to take over in their place, and one of them was the rats. And they asked me to create the entrance to the rat cave, and yeah, that's it. Geez, so much other stuff. Yeah, this was one of the characters. I sort of based him on, jeez, what was his name? Not Rowan Atkinson. Yeah, Rowan Atkinson. Blackadder, oh yeah, a cottage art. Again, I made the original castle. But then I also worked on, let me see, Batman Returns, Atari Lynx. Let's see if we can find the animation from those days. That is, I mean, really, it was, I mean, what I saw it the other day was kind of shocking. Oh yeah, here we go. I worked on this back in, 1991. Those were the days. Yeah, jeez. Oh, look at those graphics. Oh, yeah, wow. I just want to find the... hopefully this is like a speed run. God, the credits are so long. Pause it. Stop it. Oh, yeah, the clowns. Yeah, these clowns, I animated those clowns. And she was always like, "Oh, the pants aren't puffy enough. Make them puffier." The lead. Oh yeah, the skeleton. He throws a bomb at him, and all of a sudden, Batman is out. You suck, Batman. I mean, how good are you? And you just walk over. Oh, who developed this game? Can I just say I never played this game, so this is all new to me. What is this? I saw the movie. And it sucked. It sucked really bad. What is this? He's just running around and getting hit by bikes over and over. This is a speed run to the game. You just run. Oh, this is a great way to spend my sequestration, my quarantine. What the hell? Either this is a horrible game or it was the way it was meant to be played. I didn't do the bicycle guys, but I know you want to know what other games I worked on, but I just want to watch this a little bit more because again, I never played. I think I did the Walls. Oh, I did the Fat Clowns, ICP, the Insane Clown Posse here. They were supposed to roll the bombs at Batman like they were bowling balls. Well, again, this is just so sad. It shows you what gaming was back in the late 90s. No, early 90s. I mean, when you look at that compared to what was in the late 90s, it's amazing how much change we went through. Shreks. Oh, yeah, because one of the characters in the movie is called Shrek. Yeah, by the way, again, this was the official Batman Returns Atari port. I hope you're enjoying it. And look at this guy punching women. My God, seriously, man, you need to get woke, dude. Batman, you're a douche. Stop this. Stop it. Yeah. See, that's what happens. Ass. It's just so awful. Oh my! He just gave him a knife in the gut, and he's like, "Oh yeah, whatever." I think he has a cheat. His health hasn't gone down. Yeah, Batty Cats. How did he? I may have to go into overtime. I want to. How far are we through? Oh, he's almost all the way to the end. Because we see the bloaty pants McGillicuddy down there, and I think I may have done those. No, Eric Elliott, this other artist, he did the skeleton, this thinny guys here, and he has, I think, a cheat to make sure that his health doesn't go down. Notice a blue bar. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna have to make you suffer. I want to see if there's anything else for me in this game. Oh, I remember doing that, the 1880 there. I think I did these walls. And there should be like an ad for like billboard ads coming up. Look at this lag. Oh my goodness, you're overwhelming us with 3 enemies. What the hell? There's an organ grinder that shoots bullet at each other, at him, and but what's going on here? What is this? Sorry guys if this is boring, but I got nothing else to do. This is just amazing. So yeah, this is another one of the games I'm proud of working on back in the day. Hey, it was a major movie franchise. How many people get to work on a major movie franchise? The Ayn Rand statue there. Oh my. I'm just gonna see any questions here. Sorry. Oh, Wolf Puff. It's based on the movie. It had Danny DeVito as Oswald Cobblepot, who is also the Penguin. It was. I mean, I think the fact that it had Danny DeVito in it was the only thing that really was notable about the movie, except for this one scene where they draft like Danny DeVito's character in the movie was like this kid that was raised in a basement, in a cage. And all of a sudden, they want him to run for mayor. And, well, hey, maybe I'm talking about a kernel politics, but let's not go there. What gets me is when they announce, hey, this is your campaign headquarters. Look at that scene. They have this room full of hundreds of computers that are literally 10 years out of date. You had to think that their budget was cut. Oh, and by the way, check this out. The big duck. Yeah, that's the big boss. Oh my goodness. I thank goodness I didn't have to animate that. I don't think I'd be able to live that one down. But yeah, it was just. I mean, it rates right up there with the George Clooney Batman. I mean, look at this. Is this fun? Is this challenging? My God. Oh, no, look. He's escaped. Oh, is there only one left? Oh, God. So you have to go through it again? Oh, gee. That wasn't a good example, guys. So anyway, we're about 4 minutes out from shutting down. So really, I'm going to try and find... What was the last game that I worked? Oh, yeah. It was... I worked on another game for Atari. Thing is, I have no copies of that because, believe it or not, once upon a time, Atari Computer sent me Xeroxes of of the poses of the character, and they asked me to color them with colored pencils, which they'd later scan. That's how game development was done back in the 90s. Crazy, huh? but I'm gonna try and find the last game that I did, and it was called Amuse a Cat. Amuse a Cat. iPad. Let's see. Image. I have to go there because really it's Amuse. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Full screen. This was the game. Let's see. Just click on there. I created a Mac game. That was just basically another one of those games where like cats can scratch at with the screen, and the mice would squeak away. But what I did was I tried to make it optimized for cat vision. And you see, you could play a pig, a mouse, a chicken. I'll go in there. And I also developed a board game called. Many people think it's called Kill Everyone, but it was called Kill Everything. It was this. It was called the Friendly Game of Genocidal Warfare. But it never. I think it was published by somebody, but it was a paper tabletop game. And again, my close to 50-year-old insides are telling me it's time for a bio break. I'm going to give you one last chance to ask some questions down there, and then we'll have one last little bit, and then really I gotta go because I could show you the camera around here. It's a filth. We've been living in just our own leavings for 4 days. It's a mess. Alrighty, guys. One last. Woof woof. We do have toilet tissue, but trust me, I don't think I would have been able to get back that quickly if it was involving that. Let's just say, because I tend to, well, just let it take its time. So let's see. Batarangs out of his mouth. Probably. I mean, I'm pretty sure they did a game version of the Batman Returns game that had movie. I'm sorry. They did a game version of the Batman movie that had George Clooney in it, which to this day remains absolutely worst Batman movie of all time. So, who knows? Oh, I have one more question. My goodness. Hold on. I have to go. Yeah, 1996 show. Yeah. Yep. 3 a.m. Hey, Wolf Puff, nice. Sorry. I got one more question by a guy by Flyforce I would like to answer. Give me one moment. And sorry. Jeez. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry. All right. One last question. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate that. Now I need to get this off my screen. An example of a game that was a bad example. And we still have 19 watching. My goodness, guys. Thank you for hanging out so long. Hopefully, it has been worth your while. But before I have to go, I wanted to. Sorry. I'm just seeing a bad example of a game. Okay. I just want to check and make sure that this is. I'm giving bad credit where credit is due. So just give me one moment. I need to find out who the publisher. Right, EA. Yeah. All right. Guys, yeah. One bad example of game design that you've learned from. There are a hell of a lot, but jeez, that is a good question. I'm gonna try and. Here's the thing that keeps on hovering up in my mind. Mass Effect and Dragon Age Origins are the series, I think, because there are like 15. How many of them are? Jeez, I'm going to try and throw something up here before I go. That's pretty. Maybe the game. No, yeah. My guiding light. Again, and understand that I am approaching this game from a storyteller's point of view. Somebody who's very interested in presenting a game that tells a very good story. I would say that the entire Dragon Age Origins series, along with the Mass Effect series, are examples of bad. They all have the exact same story. You can talk to me about, oh, they have little differences here and there, but every one of those games across Dragon Age and Mass Effect, the exact same story. 90% of the characters are exactly the same across all. And yes, as somebody who's read Story Structure Architect, I do understand that there are only so many stories and only so many characters that we can present to the viewer. But the guys behind those two franchises just seem to think they can just throw out the same thing over and over and over and over. And maybe because maybe they're correct, because the gaming public buys them. And I think, quite frankly, they buy them because in a universe, in a market where game publishers make a heck of a lot more off of, multiplayer games, they just really don't put all the heck of a lot more care into single player games. It's just one off. They just really don't. And the thing is it's very insulting to the game companies to do that, to present the same game story over and over and over, because even though the game, triple A, I will say it as Jim Sterling saying, the triple A industry would like us to believe that the game public wants nothing more than, multiplayer shootouts. Here's the thing. We don't want that. We want engaging single player games. We are shuttled into these other venues for gaming because we have no other option. And when you do come out with a game, when you come out with a third Mass Effect that has the same damn story as the previous three, we eat it because it's all we have. And it sucks. We need better stories. We need a better, a wider emotional palette in our games. We need, and again, I don't want to get into politics, but this whole thing about getting away from single player gaming into multiplayer gaming is all based upon profit. And it just sucks. But hey, that's the system that we live in. But I hear one of the few good things that's going to come out of this current situation that we are worldwide, as far as this the COVID is concerned, is that these companies that have been really pushing multiplayer online gaming are finding that their servers are melting down. And all of a sudden they're like, hey, maybe we should come out with more single player games. And again, can I just say, it's a shame. Well, I didn't say this before. It's a shame that it took. I said it on Twitter. It's a shame that it took a literal plague to make game developers understand that gamers want engaging personal single player games. They don't always want to go online and shoot somebody in the head. They want a story that is for them. And that's, I hope, what we're going to see a heck of a lot more of in coming days, in coming weeks, in coming months. Let me see. No one has said anything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say, hey guys, I'll give you 5 more minutes, as I usually do, as I sail around the island, even though everything is green. This is an earlier version of the project file, by the way, guys. This is the working version that I was working, just stuff, just that was unconnected to ongoing development, just testing out hypotheses. But it looks like all the subtle shitting on the ground. So really, I'm going to go offline in 4 minutes. This is another thing that is sort of like back-end things. Understand, to make our biomes work properly, you had to set out all of the points that you see right here by hand, one by one. Oh my goodness, look at that. Let's see if we can just cut down. And the thing is most of these, we may sail right through the terrain. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Batty Cats. Do I have a favorite place on the island? Hold on. Oh, look, it stopped. Crashy. Give me a moment. Sorry about this, guys. This is actually running off of one of my externals rather than my main C drive. If you're asking, Batty Cats was my ideal place. If I were to go out on Peaks Island tonight, and this is a bad example because we're dealing with this, is what I would do is I would get off of the ferry right over here. And I would be like, let's see what's going on. Oh, because I always like to see what houses are selling for out there on the island. And then I'd be like, hey, let's see what notices are up on the city, board. And from there, I like going here after I get off the ferry. Oops, sorry. Because a heck of a lot of tourists get off and they get this far. And again, I apologize for the texturing. And they don't think that there's anything to see beyond that. Pardon me. And I actually sometimes enjoy just hanging out here for a minute and watching the tourists go. Oh, look at they look at the map, and I mean, most of these tourists have never walked more than a half a mile in their life, and I just like going, hey, if you're willing to walk 10 miles, I'm sorry, 10 minutes, you can get all the way out to a place like, natural, out in the middle of nowhere. Like, you don't see the ocean, but if I had a favorite place on the island, that would be a hard thing to say. I mean, it depends on what night I'm there. It's sort of like, I would say my favorite place, straight up, if I have nowhere else to go, let me actually go over to, because we're talking about the real island here. And what we're going to do here, just let it catch up, and go into satellite, and see if we can go into the 3D view here. Maybe. I believe you can. Sorry, I so rarely do this, because I don't like that 3D map. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you can see here. I like to go I would usually go to the store, which is right here, to get everything that I need. And then I would take... Yeah, I like this road here. Up here, Lower A Street. And right here is the, Children's Center and their hospital. And over here is a very old graveyard. Most of the graves no longer exist, and it's mostly overgrown. I would walk down this street all the way down to here, because if you walk past there, you get to the World War II tower here. 3D, you see? Let's see, I can't rotate. Yeah, I have to rotate. Yeah, I have to use these. There is, let me get the proper angle here. You cannot see it here, which is good. But my favorite place after I get off of the island is to go to this place right by the World War II tower. There's a very comfortable rock that you can sit on that's right over here. And for the last 5 years, I've been watching this small pine tree that happened to, a pine tree dropped a seed into a crack, into this gigantic rock that I always sit on. And for the last 5 or 6, really 8 years, I've been going out there every year and watching this tiny pine tree that is getting all of its nutrients from this tiny crack inside of this gigantic rock just grow slowly bigger every year, and watching that crack get a little bit larger each year. It's just sort of like meeting up with an old friend every time I go out there. Oh, tree, you're still there. You're doing good, you know. So I think I've answered your question. I'm sorry, we are getting late. Hmm. The release date for the alpha has been pushed off for 1 week until the 28th. Hopefully that's not too much of a disappointment, but please understand, um, none of us right now live in a vacuum, and everybody that works on the project is dealing with their own family concerns and issues that are related to the current outbreak, and it has caused an issue with development. It has delayed development, and hey, that is the way things go, especially in the middle of a situation like this. If you are if you follow us on patreon.com, which again is patreon.com/Peace Island, I post updates there, and will be going forward. And all right, all 19 of you, thank you for tuning in. I'm very sorry that we could not show you, development of the game, but here's the thing: is that when games come close to the alpha development, any sort of release, um, last minute problems creep in, and you have to deal with them. And it looks like that's what happened. And it's all good. If I was going to leave you with anything, I'd just say take care. Trust me, development is continuing. And again, in the hullabaloo that's going on, a lot of us are going to be looking a heck of a lot outward. We're going to be looking at like making sure we have food for ourselves and pets and money, etc., etc. But please, if I was going to leave you with anything, is look inward right now, because right now all of us are dealing with stresses that are unprecedented. And take care of yourselves, please, because the development of the game wouldn't be here where it is without you guys, and we care about you guys, all right? And we'll talk very soon. Take care. Oh, really quick, right outside of Peaks Island here, Catnip Island. I actually kayaked out to that. You see here that little thing of mud here in between all those rocks and sand here. That is I'd say probably 7-foot stand of poison ivy. It's impressive. Take care, guys. We'll talk later. I'm gonna go offline, and I appreciate you showing up, and take care.